Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert with quite a bit of experience in modern hospitality operations, and I am so pleased to welcome all of you students from Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. In today's hospitality world, technology is, well, it's everywhere. We have these incredibly powerful systems designed to make everything run like clockwork. But what happens when that technology just isn't enough? That's what we're going to dive into today. The most critical and honestly the most overlooked factor in any successful hotel operation, the human element. For all of you tuning in, think of this as a look beyond the textbook at what really drives excellence on the ground. All right, we're going to break this down into 5 key parts. We'll kick things off with what I call the technology paradox. Basically, why our best tools can still fall short. Then we'll get into the systems that dictate our speed, the very specific language that makes operations click, and the culture that kind of holds it all together. And finally, we'll land on the most important piece of the entire puzzle, the human foundation. So let's get started. So let's jump right into this idea, the technology paradox. The hotel industry has invested, and I mean heavily invested, in powerful systems meant to streamline pretty much everything we do. But here's the catch. These really advanced tools, they're only half the story when it comes to being truly efficient. This quote, this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Our systems can show us a room is dirty, or that a guest has a request, or that a maintenance ticket is open. They show us the what. But you know what they can't do? They can't interpret nuance. They can't convey real urgency, and they definitely can't provide that critical context. That's a human job. Technology gives us the data, but it's the people who have to communicate the why and the how to make that data actually mean something. So it all comes down to this synergy, this blend. On one side, sure, technology gives us this incredible visibility and automation. But on the other side, it's that human communication that brings the clarity, the timing, and the mutual understanding you need to act on that information. In the incredibly fast-paced world of a hotel, that human connection, it's always, always the decisive factor. So how does this actually play out day to day? Let's take a look at the systems that form our digital backbone. The most important one, of course, is the Property Management System, or the PMS. You can think of it as the central hub, the single source of truth that's supposed to keep key departments like the front office and housekeeping perfectly in sync. In a perfect world, the workflow is just seamless. Housekeeping cleans and inspects a room, they update its status in the PMS, and boom, that instantly tells the front office that the room is ready for a new guest. This digital handshake is the core of our coordination. But, and this is a big but, its reliability depends entirely on how accurate and how timely those updates are.
But, that's the ideal scenario. Now picture the reality. It's 3 p.m., the lobby's packed, you've got a line of tired guests at the desk, and every single available room matters. What happens then? Just waiting for the system to refresh can create a bottleneck that you can practically feel in the air. It gets tense.
This is exactly where we have to augment our formal systems. Real-time tools like radios or internal chat groups become absolutely essential. A quick radio call to a housekeeper to confirm a room will be ready in, say, 5 minutes, that lets the front office manage guest expectations right then and there, something that waiting for a system update just can't do. These flexible tools are vital for a responsive operation, especially when you're at high occupancy. Okay, so having the right tools is one thing, but how we actually use them is a whole different ballgame. And that brings us to the language of operations, because it's not just about being fast. The words we choose, the tone we use, it can completely change the outcome of a situation. I mean, just think about the difference here. A stressed, almost demanding approach. I need a status on 502 now. That immediately puts people on the defensive. It creates tension. But a collaborative request, one that gives a little context, a guest is waiting, and asks respectfully, well, that builds cooperation. It turns an order into a shared goal. Let's take care of the guest. That simple shift in language encourages a helpful response, not resistance. And this idea of collaboration, it goes way beyond just those real-time interactions. For communication to be truly effective, it has to be consistent. And that's where documentation comes in. It serves as the collective memory for the entire hotel. Shared logs for things like lost and found, maintenance issues, or even amenity deliveries. These are not just boring administrative tasks. They are critical communication tools. They prevent work from being duplicated or worse, forgotten. They provide a reliable, accurate reference when questions pop up. Trust me, when you're trying to solve a guest issue, having a clear record of what's been done can be the difference between a quick fix and a major headache. And the value of this documentation goes even deeper. When we start to analyze these records over time, we start to see patterns. Take a look at this chart. It's pretty clear the East Wing has way more maintenance requests than the others. Now, that insight allows leadership to look for the root cause. Maybe it's old plumbing, instead of just reacting to individual problems day after day. So then this data becomes the foundation for really productive leadership meetings. These sessions are where different departments can come together, review these patterns, get ahead of future demands like a big group arrival, and really align their strategies. This proactive approach, it builds transparency and, maybe most importantly, it strengthens the trust and the relationships between the department heads. Which brings us to our final and, you could argue, most important piece of this whole puzzle. Because beyond all the systems, all the processes, all the data, the real foundation of operational excellence is built on human relationships. It really all starts with respect. When your team members feel genuinely respected, when their hard work is acknowledged, they're just so much more likely to communicate openly and proactively support each other, especially when things get tough. And from that respect, trust starts to grow. Teams that have strong bonds of trust, they solve problems faster. There's just this natural willingness to collaborate and find solutions together because they know they can count on each other to get the job done right. And all of this leads to true collaboration. At the end of the day, the difference between a good operation and a truly great one isn't how fancy the technology is. It's the attitude and the behavior of the people who are using it. So ultimately, technology is an incredible enabler. It gives us all the tools we need for efficiency. But it's our people, through their clarity, their consistency, and their mutual respect, who actually bring those tools to life. They are the ones who create an environment where both your employees and your guests feel truly valued. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to carry with you into your careers. As you go on to design and manage hotel operations, I want you to constantly ask yourselves this question. Are our systems enabling better human communication, or are they accidentally replacing it? The answer to that question, I promise you, will define your success. Thank you.